Hello fellow DIYers and focus owners. Today I'm once again here at my friend's garage and I will attempt to change the shock absorbers with these new Bilstein ones. By the way, the Bilstein shock absorbers come without the dust guards and the spongy plastic stuff thingies, so you will need to buy those separately, and those are Monroe ones. And I also bought some Ford rear strut mounts and some front strut mounts from Lenfurter. For some weird reason, the bearing is made out of plastic, but that's what we're going to roll with. For what I saw, even the original ones are made out of plastic. And now let's get to the tools. Now on the tool part, what you will need, and it's a specialty tool, are these spring compressors that you will need to undo the front shock absorbers, because they are coilovers and they come with coil springs attached basically around the shock absorbers. Be very careful with these tools, because these springs are really stiff, and if they jump off and hit you in the face, it's not going to be very pleasant, and you might want to visit the dentist after that. On the other hand, I've also brought a breaker bar with me, in case there are some bolts that I cannot take off with the normal tools. And I have my Stanley kit with a lot of ratchets, sockets, even E-sockets. Not like I would need them, but it's better to have them than not. By the way, make sure to check out the description for a tool list that I will absolutely include there. And I've almost forgot the specialty tool that every Romanian mechanic uses, a large hammer. So let's begin. By the way, I think I'm going to split this video into two parts, the rear shock absorbers and the front shock absorbers. Anyway, so I've just loosened the bolts from the wheels with my breaker bar, and I placed the car over the arms of the elevator, and let's lift it up. So the idea here is to have the car up in the air enough so you can access the shock absorbers from the top and from the bottom. And I went ahead and removed the tires and wheels. So I will begin with the rear part, because that seems a bit easier, and let's go over there. So let's start by inspecting the lower part. The strut is held down there by a bolt, if I remember correctly, so that's going to be rather easy to undo. But up here, I'm not sure if I need to remove the carpet mud guards, but if you need to remove those, they are held in place by these clips. And now let's go to the top side and remove the interior carpets, and then we can see what we actually need to remove. So now over here we need to remove this carpet, and I'm not sure if we need to remove the adjacent plastics, but that might also be a thing. And this mount that I put up here for the fire extinguisher, that's the strut top, is mounted, if I remember correctly, somewhere there. So let's get into that. So I went ahead and removed the floor liner, what that thing is, and now I'm going to remove the plastics and my fire extinguisher mount with a screwdriver. Unfortunately, I'm in a really stupid position for filming. So now I'm removing the screws and these screwy clippy things from the plastics, and let me clarify. I'm not removing the plastics because I have to, because I could just pull out the carpet from beneath, but when I need to put the carpet back in place, that's when you will need to remove all the plastics around it, because those are holding it in place. Just remove this plastic piece by pulling, because it's held in by clips. And here you can see another one of these screwy clips that you need to remove. So you can push this cover to the front and remove the plastic, because the seat belt is momentarily holding it in place. Another good tip that I have for you guys, to always place the screws and clips and everything that's connected to one part of the car in the same spot, because then you will have an easier job when you're putting everything back together. Now that I have removed most of the clips, let's see if I can remove the carpet. You see, just as I said, it is held in by these plastics. Over there it's held in by a clip too. And voila, here we have the top of the strut and the sticker. And now let's go under the car so we can see what we need to remove there, so we can pull out the whole strut assembly. For now I won't loosen this. Well, I maybe should, but I'm working with an elevator, so it's easy for me to move the car up and down. So I will take it pretty much step by step. So I didn't pick the car up too high, so I can squat under it like a true Slav. I even have my Adidas tracksuit and my Adidas shoes. Okay then, enough slaving around. Here is one bolt that we need to remove, and if I'm correct, this is the only one holding the strut down there to the rear suspension, what's this, control blade assembly. And now let's remove this bolt and watch how the strut falls out. So for this you will need a 13mm wrench, and I highly advise to buy these ratcheted wrenches because they are really useful. Okay, now we need another wrench to hold the top, smaller wrench to hold the top of the strut in place. And we took the old strut out, and this is the mount. Even though it doesn't look bad or collapsed, the rubber is really old. Well, this metal part isn't, but the rubber looks really weak, and maybe I could reuse it, but I bought a new one, so why the hell. So now here we have these two struts side by side, and I will show you the difference in pressure they need to compress. So this is the old strut, and I can push it in rather easily, let's not mention that this spongy plastic is eaten away and it's not holding in place anymore. So let's do an upside down. You see? And it's barely coming back. Barely. I think this doesn't even have gas pressure. Anyway, so let me show you the Bilstein one. So now, out with the old stuff and in with the new Bilstein. But first, let's salvage, I think this cap. We will need this cap. Though I'm not really sure. But it does seem like it. So I salvaged this plastic cap that I will need to wipe off because it's very dirty. And these two parts. This is the lower one and this is the upper one, and they will go on like so until that ring. And this is the so this is what's left of the spongy plastic from the old shock absorber. So that's junk. Cannot reuse that. Meanwhile, I've took off the other shock absorber, and here's its mount, bottom, top mount, top, bottom mount, whatever. And I've cleaned the top, bottom, bottom, top mount of the other shock absorber. And this protector. For some reason the Monroe protector is larger in diameter, but it will fit anyways. Just it's pretty weird to me why they did it. Anyhow, the spongy plastic thingies are toast. Both of them, they are useless. And let me show you the old shock absorbers. They are weak in comparison to the new one that I need two hands to push it down. So now I will start by putting up the other shock absorber, the new one, and we'll take it from there. So let's assemble the new shock absorber. You will have these parts like this, a little metal plate in the rubber that goes in the other metal thingy like that. And if I'm not mistaken, they will sit like this on the car. So you will need to place it like so, and this can, yeah, you just plug it in. This is the case where you're using Monroe covers. So here's the new shock absorber. You just put the damn cover on it. If I would, yeah, if I would find the hole. This goes on like so. It has that ring that it needs to go like that. That goes on like that. And the top mount will go on like that. Meanwhile, in car, and that will go on like that. So let me put it back. It's really easy till now, isn't it? Let me show again the whole strut assembly from the top to the bottom so you can see exactly how it looks. Don't forget to add the plastic cap on the top, because that holds the rubber, plastic, whatever that orange thing is, in place, and let's put it into the car. So I've managed to put the new strut in. I need to hold it a little bit up so I can put the screw in. I've added some blue thread locker. And I've tightened it to 1 arm pound foot strength, whatever. Unfortunately, it's not really that easy for me to figure out the torque specs because I don't have access to auto data. So I went ahead and tightened these 2 bolts, as I did the other side too. And I'm pretty much done over here. I will do a test drive, and I think after that I will reassemble the plastics. Okay, let's move on to the front of the car, and it's going to be in another video, so see you then. Don't forget to check out my Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to don't miss that video. Oh yeah, and don't forget to press that stupid notification bell.